we do what we want to, basically. So it's not about keeping up with the movement. For example, matcha, we would never even think of doing it because we're not a coffee shop.
Really?
No, of course not. It's nothing to do with us. It has. We focus on
Wow.
coffee, on really focused ideas. Even people ask us, why, when are you going to open your second branch or your a coffee shop? But that's not what we do. We focus on something specific, and that's what we do.
On June 9 and 10 this year, our live online workshop, Biochar for Farming, is happening in English and Spanish with returning specialist professors Angela Barrero and Morillo Bettarello. Tickets are $10 for farmers and $100 for everybody else, which includes 9 pay-it-forward tickets for farmers who can't pay the ticket price. Head to mapitforward.coffee/workshops or check the show notes for links. Welcome to the Map It Forward Middle East podcast. That's never going to get old saying that, folks. Welcome to the Map It Forward Middle East podcast. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 2 of a 5-part series with Shireen Muhaisen and James Lynes from Bunni Coffee. We are talking about building a business today where coffee was born in the Middle East. And in this episode, we're going to talk about building a values-driven coffee business in the Middle East. And guys, you were talking in the last episode about how you don't have the same pressures as what, let's say, cafes who decide to start here in the GCC, particularly in places like Dubai and in Riyadh. The benchmark is really, really high for people just from a fit-out perspective. Like, it needs to be opulent. Consumers have certain expectations. And from everything that I have learned about your business, it's a values-driven business. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
And what would you say, how would you describe the values of what your business are?
Well, building a value-driven business should be an exciting venture, and it's a journey. It doesn't stop. You keep doing through through your journey. So it's far beyond coffee. It should be for any business. For us, as we said, we wanted to bring what we believe in before the business and have the flexibility and the authority to apply these principles and values into our business. So for any business, it should start with the core values of their operation, what truly matters to them, what they believe in. And then equally important is understanding the market, the industry, the challenges they face. And this is what we did before coming with Bunni. We did this market research, we understand it. Alongside with our principles, I think this understanding those together will help any business to shape and identify its identity. Because it's very important balancing your profitability with impact. You need to provide something, because customers nowadays, they want to be connected with something that, again, has depth, has meaning, provides something to the community. So it's not just serving coffee, because it's everywhere. You have this kiosk. Everyone serves coffee, but what makes you different? How do you differentiate a brand from all this noise and the crowd? You have to provide something unique. And many brands, they do it just for marketing purposes, I think. And I believe it's clear for customers. They see this. It's very clear to them what's genuine and what's not.
I want to ask something on that, if that's okay, before you jump in, James. Tell me the role that culture plays in that. Because we're a very culturally rich region, and our connection here to coffee, even living in Australia, the cultural connection as a Syrian person, our family has to the way that we engage with coffee is very rich. So and hospitality in particular, is the number one thing every Arab little girl gets taught, no matter what country she's living in. We get taught exactly what the etiquette of hospitality is, right? And I see that play out in a lot of the cafes that I go to in this region. For you guys building Bunni, what role does culture play in the values that you bring?
I'll speak as a non-Arab here, because But for me, it's the culture that we inherited from our work, right? As Shreem was saying, it's values that
Okay.
we believe in through our previous, let's say, humanitarian work.
Yeah.
So why did we do Bunni? It's not only to source great coffees and bring it to Jordan and have fun and everything else. It's also because we wanted to implement social impact, but through a business, which we found was a more effective way of doing something good, let's say,
Right.
and sustainable, obviously, rather than relying on donations.
Mhm.
We're actually doing it through the business. We are actually creating something positive. As for the local culture, I mean, maybe you have an answer for that. I mean, it's really. I think it's for us, and especially because specialty coffee is very much an imported idea, right? I mean, it's not really an idea
Yeah.
that was in the region.
Yeah.
So it's kind of how we've come from with a foreign mindset in many ways,
Mhm.
how we've integrated that into the local culture, into the local traditions. So Bunni as a brand, it's not a typically foreign brand. I mean, it's actually a local brand. It's as Arab as it is foreign. So I think that within that we've kind of tweaked it to make it fit the local culture. So it's not a fully imported idea. It has that tweak to it.
Yeah. There's an integration there.
Yes.
And it's talking to the newer generation, because the older generation
Okay.
it's more, resisting and more loyal to what they're used to have every day. It's part of their routine. I like to go every month to this small shop on the corner, buy my coffee.
Right.
It's
Make
put
my
up
rakwi at home.
Yes, put up 1 month, put in the fridge, for example. So we started to talk to the newer generation, and then I think we're reaching gradually, like, يعني, a
More
beginning
and
of
more.
old generation. Yeah, more. So we're starting to minimize the gap, because it has a lot of education. It's
It's a process.
yeah,
It takes time. It takes time.
it's the
Oh,
journey.
absolutely.
It's really we've especially Jordan. Just speaking from for example, when we started 5-6 years ago, it really the awareness of specialty coffee was really in its very early stages. Almost, I mean, very few actually were aware of it unless they had traveled abroad and seen it, and they come back and they're aware of specialty coffee. So I think that over the last 6 years, massive progress has been made in Jordan. So many people are aware of this. So even though I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day, he has a commercial roaster, and he's saying that now people are coming to him asking about transparency, asking about details of the beans.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really working its way through society. So yeah, that's kind of what Shreem was saying as well. Is that it's really now kind of the ripple effect is happening. We haven't yet reached the kind of the old generation, but we're getting there, which is good.
It's really fascinating to see the impact that brands like Starbucks in their penetration through social media and through movies have had on the way that people want to consume coffee in this region. They may not be looking for the dalla or for the rakwi. They are looking for the iced latte, and they are looking for, a lot of people are saying they never thought that they would have to spend so much money on plastic takeaway cups. After Starbucks started doing that, it's become a different way of being cool. And that I've seen that all over this region be adopted in that way. I see iced matcha everywhere. Is matcha a big thing in Jordan, by the way?
It's a thing. It's not a big thing, but it started.
It's
It's
huge
becoming-
everywhere
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, it's becoming.
Give it 10 minutes, Shireen, I
On
swear.
the way.
There's a matcha shortage as well as a pistachio shortage. That's a Dubai thing. But there's a
But you know
pistachio.
how many businesses work? They see it, for example, working in some place, so they think they can copy it and they're gonna work for them. So yeah, this is how it starts.
It starts there and it accelerates that way, and then a new fad starts.
It drops. Yeah.
Right, like we're a fad-driven industry. As you're building a values-driven industry, how do you reconcile the fad side of it with the values side of it so that you reach some kind of stability? Because the fad side of it, with all the clients that I've worked with, it's a lot of the time that you find that the fad is what is the extra cash injection into the business. If there's a lull and they decide to jump on a trend, that can end up injecting a little extra cash in the industry. When you're building a values-driven business, what's your relationship with that?
Honestly, I mean, this would take me back to what I previously said about we are more free to do what we want, and there's less expected of us. So I think that we tend to not jump on the bandwagon of fads. We do what we want to, basically. So it's not about keeping up with the movement. For example, matcha, we would never even think of doing it because we're not a coffee shop.
Really?
No, of course not. It's nothing to do with us. It has. We focus on coffee, on really focused ideas. Even people ask us, why, when are you going to open your second branch or a coffee shop? But that's not what we do. We focus on something specific, and that's what we do. So I think it's the
your specialists
that relieves us of having to jump on this wave of fads. And I think that it is up to us to, in many ways, create our own fads or create our own quirks. Let's say, not fads. So we tend to do niche products and different things, not necessarily what's expected of us, but it's what we feel like we should do to differentiate ourselves and to be different, right?
What's an example of that? I'm so fascinated now.
So no, it's fine, absolutely. So I mean, just as a very basic example, when we first started Bunni, what's expected of us, and even in the Gulf, this is also and logically so. Any roastery that you go to, there's also a tasting area, right, where people come, they have their coffee and everything else. We don't have that. We are just there, which isn't necessarily a good thing. but
we can chat in space.
And then we focus on the concept of hospitality. So people come, we can offer them something to try. So they enjoy the experience of tasting everything else, and then they buy their coffee and they leave. So we don't do what's expected of us. We do what we think will work well for the brand and for us. So your average customer to Bunni will come. We can do them a V60. We can share it as a group in small cups, very kind of like the ahwasada, like the small cups. So more of a localized cultural experience of the art of the hospitality. They enjoy it. They like the coffee. They buy a bag or two and they head off. Right. What's expected of us is that we have a seating area. People come, they sit down for 2-3 hours with their laptop and they work away. We don't want to go in that direction because then also in many ways we're competing with our clients. So we focus on what we want to do. And I think that in many ways allows us to be freer. And then we also can focus on what we think is right for the business and right for us as well.
And help people understand what the business model is. B2B, B2C, roastery, one cafe.
No cafe.
No cafes.
Help people understand what the business model actually is. Okay,
sure.
So you have a showroom?
It's mainly so our business is mainly B2B. The concept of Bunni is that we are there to support businesses in achieve whatever they want to achieve. And that can be from consultancy to training, to supply machines and equipment, and also supply beans. So it's kind of like in many ways a one-stop shop for a coffee business who wants to open. But the more important, the most important part of that is the support factor. So we are there as training, and they can do customized blends, they can do customized. So we prop them up to help their brand shine in many ways. It's not about us as a brand; it's about supporting others. Now that's our B2B side. B2C side as well. We have a standard showroom. And online websites and things like that, where we sell coffee and items. That's the kind of focus of our retail business.
But same solution, same package. We offer for the B2B, we offer for the B2C, but it's for the home consumer, the home user. Yeah.
And is the home consumer looking to you for leadership? Like, are they looking to Bunni to set the standard of like, what should I be drinking? What shouldn't I be drinking? How should I be brewing at home compared to, let's say, the rakwa or the dalla or whatever it is? Are they looking to you for new innovative ways?
Yeah. So we receive a lot of questions like website, social media, even not about our product in general. What do you think of these machines? Which one I should buy?
No way.
Yes. Which one? Which bean is good for espresso? Which bean is good for filter? So even if it's not our product, sometimes they send us machines like we don't sell, asking for our feedback.
Wow, that's amazing trust. Hey,
People want support. People
Yeah.
have questions.
yeah.
So we are offering that platform. Yeah, come ask us and we help you out.
So you guys really are pioneering specialty coffee across pretty much the Levant, but let's say specifically in Jordan, you guys are pioneering it, particularly not just from a business perspective, but the consumers in Jordan are looking to you guys to tell them how they should be engaging and setting the kind of the cadence of that, I guess, as the industry grows. Would you agree?
It's your words.
This is a pioneering is a big
I
word.
knew that was gonna. I'm so sorry.
I think what we would say is we're doing what we love.
I love it.
That is
That's the classic
it's the-
Arab humility, guys.
No, but honestly, the whole project started from love for coffee, right? So we love sourcing great coffees. We love going to Origin and meeting the producers. This is what we love doing. So we love making this into something. I think saying that we're pioneering was a bit of a jump for us personally. We would say that we're more happy to help whoever, and support. And that's what we enjoy, and that's what we do. We do well, I think. Yeah.
And I like that people ask us because I think in my opinion, they believe that we're not biased. We're not going to direct them to our own benefit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just being honest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just giving them very honest and trustworthy information. I think that's kind of what people want.
That's what I mean. Like the trust that comes to a brand when people come to them and say, hey, listen, like they're not saying, how should I think or what should I do? They're saying, this is what I want to do. Am I thinking about this the right way? And that really demonstrates like a brand that's building for the long term. When consumers have come to you asking you for advice, it's an indicator that I've seen across the world of the brands that are likely to survive. Whether challenging times come or not, consumers will have a loyalty to those kinds of brands because they trust them. They don't just trust the product.
Yeah.
They trust the people that are running it. They trust that the information that's coming is trustworthy. And that's the difference between values-driven businesses and fad-driven businesses. And we tend to see a stark, you're either one or the other in this region. I don't see brands that are a mixture of those two things. They're either heavily driven by marketing or they're heavily driven by having values, and the consumer wants to figure out which one you are so that they can show their loyalty to those two brands. But what I also have seen is that the ones that heavily rely on marketing, they had better have very, very deep pockets because there's a bigger fish that's coming that has an even bigger pocket that will do more outrageous things to invest into marketing, and consumers are very fickle. They'll move on from that very quickly. If there's no trust that's actually built there's just like dopamine hit that comes from, let's start with a really pretty coffee and then let's add a Dubai chocolate donut on top of that so that we can get your attention even more. And it's like, this is going to end with a chicken on top of a coffee, which we saw in Australia happen. And it was just so ridiculous how far these brands had to go in order to get consumers' attention. But the brands who are building for the long term, that place the effort, friends of both of ours, Raw Coffee, they're about to turn 18. They invested all of this time building trust in a community. They're the OG of specialty coffee in the entire region. None of that is easy won. And my personal, why I want to talk to brands like you guys is to set that example in the industry here in the Middle East. You've got to choose. You're either going to be heavily invested in marketing or you're going to be in it for the long run and you're going to build a business that has values, and that will last the long game. But you have to understand they're very two different businesses and they need very different approaches, and both have their benefits and their pitfalls. So speaking of pitfalls, in the next episode, folks, we're going to talk about the challenges of building a coffee business in the Middle East. So join us for that. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.